Since independence on February 22, 1979, St. Lucia has made significant strides in several sectors of society. There have been achievements in education, health, telecommunications, infrastructure, sports and sustainable development, and energy. In this feature, we outline the achievements of the country since independence in all of these sectors. Prior to independence, schools on island were managed largely by different religious denominations, in particular, the Roman Catholic Church, the Seventh-day Adventist, and the Methodist churches. Following independence, successive governments established a number of primary and secondary schools, which led to the attainment of universal primary education, where every child was given an opportunity to attend a primary school. Currently, there are approximately 73 primary schools in St. Lucia. Primary education was also advanced with the removal of the shift system and the establishment of regular hours for school, that is, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This allowed for more structured teaching in a stable learning environment. Linked to universal primary education is the achievement of universal secondary education, or USE, where every student is provided with an opportunity to attend a secondary school. The expressed purpose of USE is to reduce inequity and to ensure the participation of all students. In 2006, through the introduction of USE, 4,301 children who wrote common entrance exams were offered a place at a secondary school. There are approximately 23 secondary schools on island. Additionally, St. Lucia embraced advanced level education, not only at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, but also in secondary schools such as the Vieux-Fort Comprehensive A-Level program. There was a movement in the early to mid-1990s to firmly establish a comprehensive technical, vocational, and educational training program. A number of schools throughout the island implemented technical and vocational subjects with a view to providing students with the option to focus on non-academic subjects. St. Lucia moved from General Certificate of Education (GCE) exams administered in the United Kingdom to examinations administered by the Caribbean Examinations Council (CXC). Currently, there is the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE), managed entirely by the CXC. This provided students with an emphasis on learning with a decidedly more Caribbean perspective. One of the major advancements in education is the integration of information and communication technologies in the education system known as ICANN. A major component of this project is the distribution of approximately 3,300 laptops to all Form 4 students throughout the island. It also forms part of the Education Enhancement through Information Communication Technology program. The ultimate objective is to develop learning through the use of modern technologies. Another important achievement is the development of a 10-year education plan for the education sector in 2000. The emphasis of this plan is to provide a blueprint for sector management from kindergarten to tertiary level education. A significant milestone within the health sector of St. Lucia was the development of a comprehensive national health management information system. This new system, rolled out in 2011, assists health administrators in making evidence-based decisions to improve the quality of healthcare. This system also documents all encounters with public health services into an electronic health record for the patient. Complementing this achievement was the development of a national strategic plan for St. Lucia for the period 2006 to 2011. This plan would govern the major strategies and activities within the health sector. This was precipitated by a white paper on health reform which involved three main pillars: institutional strengthening, universal health care, and infrastructural development. As part of its efforts to expand health services, the Ministry of Health established 33 health and wellness centers throughout the island. Such facilities are found within a 3-mile radius of major communities and form part of a decentralized approach to primary health care. As part of this drive, there has been a renewed effort at promoting preventive health care amongst all citizens. The government of St. Lucia constructed a brand new national hospital at a cost of 175 million Eastern Caribbean dollars with funding from the European Union and the government of St. Lucia. This hospital, once in operation, will replace the Victoria Hospital, which can no longer serve the needs of an expanding population. Other achievements within the health sector include a decrease in the incidences of communicable diseases. It signifies a reduction in illnesses and deaths due to AIDS and an increase in life expectancy to approximately 74 years for males and 79 years for females. St. Lucia's economy depends primarily on revenue from banana production and tourism, with some input from small-scale manufacturing. The agriculture sector continues to play a major role in the economy, although its importance has declined in favor of tourism. In 2009, agriculture contributed 5% of the GDP. However, it still accounts for a significant number of jobs, some 21% of employment. With its main objective of increasing agricultural productivity, the Ministry of Agriculture has adopted a National Food Production Action Plan. The plan is critical to reducing St. Lucia's nearly $350 million food import bill while increasing production of St. Lucia's own nutritionally rich foods. The plan will also help provide sustainable employment, diversify the agricultural sector, and stabilize domestic food prices. Other agricultural products of economic importance are cocoa, coconut, citrus fruits, and livestock. Efforts also include the establishment and promotion of tree crops such as mangoes and avocados. A variety of vegetables are also being produced for local consumption. The Department of Fisheries has had a history of proactively protecting the sea and its resources. Their main mission is the promotion of self-sufficiency through increased production of marine and aquaculture products while sustainably developing the fishing industry. This includes modernization of the fisheries infrastructure and fishing vessels, the use of improved fishing gear and methods, regulation of fishing gear, protection of marine biodiversity, regulation of other marine-based activities to mitigate negative impacts on the fishery sector and ensure the overall educational advancement of fishers and the development of an appropriate freshwater marine aquaculture program. The commercial fishery in St. Lucia is almost entirely a small-scale marine activity, mostly in inshore waters with vessels only occasionally going as far as 40 kilometers from the coast. There are an estimated 1,700 full-time fishermen, of whom about two-thirds are part-time or casual, who man 500 to 600 vessels of 5 to 8 meter canoe type, most of which are powered by outboard engines. St. Lucia has experienced phenomenal growth in tourism since independence. The island currently attracts over 900,000 visitors annually. St. Lucia has done well even with fierce regional competition and market volatility. The island nation has been able to attract foreign business and investment, especially in its offshore banking and tourism industries. Tourism is St. Lucia's main source of jobs and income, accounting for 65% of GDP and the island's main source of foreign exchange earnings. In 2012, visitors from the UK bumped up their interest in the island with a 30% increase in arrivals from this vital source market. St. Lucia has hotel possibilities that will be appealing to almost every kind of visitor. Tourists can book into budget hotels or glitzy resorts and almost everything in between. The northern end of St. Lucia is its most urbanized area, with a fair number of hotels and resorts located along beaches or with seaside views. This is also home to many of St. Lucia's large, all-inclusive resorts. Soufrière is considered St. Lucia's tourism capital and home to the island's iconic pitons, surrounded by the Pitons Management Area, a 2,909-hectare site which encompasses the town of Soufrière, linked by the Piton-Mitan Ridge. The volcanic complex includes the sulfur springs, a dormant volcano, and tourist attraction. The island's tourism product offers a diverse range of activities including golf, snorkeling and diving, horseback riding, hiking, and zip lining. The telecommunications industry in St. Lucia has grown by leaps and bounds from independence. One of the major achievements is the deregulation of the telecoms environment. This commenced with a decision by the 5 states within the OECS to liberalize the telecommunications sector in 2000. This involved the development of a suitable regulatory environment to ensure new operators are licensed and a regulatory body known as the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority is established. Furthermore, there was a reduction in prices of telecom services due to the extensive penetration of mobile phones and enhanced marketing strategies. There were also significant investments in infrastructure from the new entrants and the incumbent into the telecom sector. The three leading telecoms providers are Lime, Digicel, and now Flow. St. Lucia has also seen the change from analog to digital. This is evidenced in the move from analog television to digital television and the increase in internet broadband. In fact, the St. Lucia government has plans to ensure improved broadband speeds and greater access to telecom services throughout the island, including the establishment of Wi-Fi hotspots. Road development has been a major focus of governments since 1979. There was the construction of the East Coast Road and later the construction of the West Coast Road. A trip from Vieux-Fort to Castries, which once took almost an entire day, currently takes approximately 1 hour. Another major road project is the placement of a fourth lane on the Grosley Highway. There were constant improvements to road networks throughout the island, including primary and secondary roads, as well as agricultural feeder roads. There are approximately 1,000 kilometers of main road in St. Lucia. St. Lucia possesses two airports, namely Huonora International Airport and the George F.L. Charles Airport. The former serves as the airport which receives largely international flights, while the GFL Charles Airport serves as the hub for regional air traffic. The Huonora International Airport will be undergoing infrastructural renovation with a view to improving the services provided. In addition to the airports, St. Lucia also possesses 5 seaports, 2 of which are major deep-water harbors, namely Port Castries and Port Vieux-Fort. Located in the capital, Port Castries is a multi-purpose port that provides facilities and services for both passengers and cargo. The second largest port is Port Vieux-Fort, which caters primarily to the needs of transshipment container operations. Complementing the seaport in Vieux-Fort is an industrial free zone, a goods distribution free zone, and the Vieux-Fort Industrial Estate. La Place Carénage was opened in December 1996 by SLASPA in an effort to carry out projects designed to stimulate social and economic growth and to serve the increasing number of cruise ships berthing at the Queen Elizabeth II docks. La Place Carénage is an air-conditioned, 3-story duty-free shopping mall featuring a perfect mix of shopping, dining, and entertainment. Well known throughout the Caribbean, Point Seraphin is home to the cruise-dedicated berths on the island. It is located within walking distance of the city of Castries and consists of a number of shops offering a range of both locally made and international products. Water taxis are also available from Point Seraphin to La Place Carénage. A recent feature of Port Castries is the new inter-island ferry terminal, where fast ferries provide daily service between St. Lucia and Martinique. The terminal was designed to offer passengers the same level of comfort found at an airport. Electricity in St. Lucia is provided by the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited. Lucelec generates electricity from 6 power stations island-wide. The transmission network consists of overhead lines, underground cables, and 3 substations. As it relates to water, the John Compton Dam, located in the western part of the island, provides water largely to the residents of the north. Additionally, there is a network of treatment plants island-wide providing water on a daily basis. There have been significant improvements in the area of sports since independence. One of the major developments is the construction of the George Odlum Stadium and the Beausejour National Cricket Grounds. The stadium in Vieux-Fort has served as a hosting ground for athletic meets and the cricket stadium as a venue for local, regional, and international cricket matches. Additionally, St. Lucia continues to make improvements to its playing fields and multi-purpose courts, including lighting, where regular community-based sporting activities take place. Another important achievement is the development of a strategic plan for youth development and sports for the period 2013. This plan serves as a blueprint for the development of youth and sports in St. Lucia. St. Lucians were proud to hear of the entry of Darren Sammy into the West Indies cricket team as a player and then captain. This was followed by the entry of another St. Lucian player on the West Indies roster in the person of Johnson Charles. He was followed by Gary Matherin. These players have made tremendous strides in the cricket arena. St. Lucia has been chosen to host the Commonwealth Youth Games in 2017. The decision to host the Games was made at the General Assembly of the Commonwealth in 2011, held in St. Kitts. St. Lucia has hosted Cricket World Cup in 2007, as well as various international volleyball, boxing, and tennis competitions. An important achievement in the conservation realm is the development of a system of protected areas. This system provides for a network of areas protecting natural, historical, and cultural resources of the specific site identified. One such locale is the Peto Management Area, which is a World Heritage Site designated by UNESCO as a site of universal outstanding value. A major component of the PMA is the world-renowned Twin Pitons. Another valuable achievement is the removal of the threat of extinction of the Amazona versicolor or St. Lucia green parrot. The Department of Forestry realized that the green parrot population was declining steadily. Following the implementation of conservation measures, the parrot population began to increase. St. Lucia was able to prevent the entry of CFCs and persistent organic pollutants into the country. These chemicals are detrimental to the environment and have been banned by the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer. Currently, these chemicals have been phased out completely in St. Lucia. In the energy sector, St. Lucia has begun efforts at reducing its dependence on fossil fuels. Initiatives have begun with energy sector partners to develop solar, wind, and geothermal forms of energy. Recently, the government introduced light-emitting diode LED bulbs to its energy reduction mix. These bulbs will be installed on streetlights as well as government buildings and offices. These measures are expected to reduce operational costs and provide savings to government on electricity consumption.